the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
One of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
I got weed pots.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another week of Stoned Appetite. With your host, as always, it's me, Kip Wilson, and across the screen, I got my boy, CB. Chris, how are you doing?
For a Tuesday, I'm doing pretty well, but I tell you what, I'd be doing a hell of a lot better if I would have hit that Powerball last night or this morning, I guess.
Yeah, it was this morning. I'm not exactly sure what happened there with the internet or with the world, but we're going to dive into that. We got a great topic of the conversation today. We're starting to play with formatting things. 2023 is going to be a big year. We're bringing on a producer. We've got everything, all the ducks in a row. It's going to be a fucking kick-ass good time. But before we dive into tonight's episode, we're talking election paranoia. Will the world end if the fucking House or Senate flips? As well as, like you mentioned, Powerball luxuries and some answers from the community. We're going to get some cool stuff going. And we've got a giveaway that is launching tomorrow that I think everyone's going to want to hear about, Chris. All of that, and we have a kick-ass episode with a promo code for pretty much free fucking wine, all located in this right here episode that is presented to you by Standing Akimbo Dispensary. For those that are curious, it's the med dispensary of Colorado. Yes, there are others in the community, but none of them do it like Standing Akimbo. They have better prices, larger selection, all of the big players in the community available on the shelves over there. No reason, if you have a med card, you should not be shopping anywhere else. It's literally everybody else is playing by the recreational prices with heavy dose milligrams, notwithstanding Akimbo. They're just bringing you the best deals they can, just like you should be getting from everybody. It's called Accountability Buddies, and we're all about it here on the podcast. So until we kind of, see exactly somebody else doing that model, I believe everybody should be shopping at Standing Akimbo. It's located at 3801 Jason Street, right there off 38th, across from Carboncito, the wonderful Mexican restaurant. You can also order online by going to Standing Akimbo's website. You can check their dispensary. They have deals daily every day of the week. Oh my God, these dogs don't stop clack-lacking. I got one of their nails clipped the other day. We've tried to do this ad read. Everything that can go wrong from home recording has gone wrong. So maybe we fucking get an office and a producer in 23. But anyways, we may not even be here. We may be on the verge of nuclear, war.
Or civil war.
Oh, yeah. Especially if the Democrats keep the Senate and the House. How do you think it shakes out as those are listening to us Tuesday night or Wednesday morning? Is the sky falling? Are my taxes going down? What's going on, Chris?
I mean, I don't know. And while you and I are both probably not the most
intelligent,
or knowledgeable people to talk on this topic, we do at least watch the news, maybe sometimes read the news. But I mean,
that's you, bro.
Yeah. My biggest fear is just like, I just wish we could stop talking about fraudulent elections. Like, I don't care who wins the goddamn House or the Senate, because quite frankly, probably not shit's going to get done regardless. So I would just rather people just accept the fact that like we have legitimate elections, and like it's like 5-year-old stuff,
Yes, it is.
Like
so
if I was playing a game with you and I made up the rules, and then all of a sudden you were better at the game, and then I changed the rules to make myself better, like it's just really stupid. Like that's the way it was, but no, like, so I can blame you if I lose, it's because of fraud. If I win, it's because we clearly just beat out the fraud.
No, I could not agree more. And, when we talked about the election voting, whatever, we discussed that. We prefaced the episode with, if you can't admit that 2020's election was not only the safest in fucking history, but in fact, the few that were caught with, fraudulent, voting twice, things of that nature, were by the same people that were casting the stones. It is a fickle beast. And we've already started to see, it is the loser mentality. But I feel like the people that like gloat or like put bumper stickers on their car of presidential anything or electorals in any capacity, those are people that never win in anything in life. They're usually those that are unattractive, will die early. They've had nothing go their way, so they hitch their wagon, which may sandbag some people's actual livelihood, whether it be at home or at work, with their finances or how they feed their families. They hitch their wagon to what supposed winners may be, and it's just a loser mentality. And it's a take your ball and go home, when in fact you get dunked on in your own game. So it is brutally aggravating that the same people that are calling out for illegal bullshit are the same people that, like you said, if they win, they were like, hell yeah, everything was copacetic. Like we must have righted all the wrongs from 2020. But, it's so peculiar,
Well, I think it's just ridiculous that we just can't like create this kind of fear mongering around like voter fraud and stuff. Like it just doesn't happen. And there's so many checks and balances within that system that it is impossible for it to happen on a scale that would ever fucking tip the side of an election. It's just stupid. So anyways, any of those election deniers out there, it's been fucking taken up in the courts and there's nothing. But anyways, I'm just hoping that it's civil. Like I'm hoping like at least the goddamn commercials are over.
Oh, and the text messages and the phone calls from random people.
I mean, at least that's over. But I'm just happy.
As long as we don't have a fucking runoff, then it's gonna compound, like double down.
Right. I hope there's like as much. I mean, obviously there's not going to be as much voter turnout as in like a presidential election, but at the same time, I hope they see like quite a high level of turnout, because, the biggest thing is just everybody needs to be engaged.
Yeah, and I mean, we usually get like 35 to 40%. So even getting that lower side of the spectrum for a presidential turnout, juxtaposed to, is democracy at stake here? Because to be fair, there could be arguments that a lot of rights are at stake here for a lot of Americans or non-Americans that are, have a path to citizenship, as long as certain people retain power. But at the same time, I mean, I'd be very surprised if the Democrats kept both houses in a midterm with their guy in the presidency. But at the same, I mean, the Supreme Court has done everything in their power to keep Trump relevant and his tax paperwork out of the right hands, as well as, aggravate the left, instigate a lot of usually non-voters in places like Georgia, Texas, potentially, especially with how fucking Greg Abbott runs his show down there. Like they could be a wash. We'll see exactly what happens.
I think what will be interesting, they've talked about how, maybe if these midterm elections would have been held like during the summer and things like that, right after, the Supreme Court, Roe v. Wade, all that stuff, then, the Democrats were likely gonna have a little bit of momentum. But even now, though, I kind of think like people might be surprised, because when it comes to abortion, a lot of the public agrees it's a pretty given woman's right. And even though like things can happen to just change that overnight, they can at least stop electing people who are just completely.
I think you're going to see more people vote with their pocketbooks than they will, especially you're going to see an independent elderly population, those that aren't procreating, who may be just kind of on the fence. Like that's not as big as a potential inflation, economy-based situation, knowing good and well when Democrats are in office, oftentimes it's better for the economy. I mean, they don't want to talk about those points.
Nobody's going to be able to fix this shit right away. Like, people
No, but
are
at the same time, there are no
fucking clueless.
answers. No one's offering any answers either, but that's what you campaign on. It's like fear mongering. So luckily it's almost fucking over. And then we can get into the real debate of when should we start Christmas music? Because I am a personal November 1 guy, but I am not going straight hard into Kelly Clarkson, Mariah Carey. I dip my toe in, especially this weekend with the time change. It's a great time to kind of get those choirs in action at dusk, like a Come All Ye Faithful choral stuff, chorus. I fucking love it. I love barking in the car by myself, long traffic, sunsets, piping. It's a good time.
So quick question, with the time change, I can't remember, but like, did we vote on that a year ago stop?
It's a point of conversation every spring when it happens.
But I think they're about to. I think next year.
This?
I think next year it goes into effect. I don't think Colorado is going to have daylight savings time.
Are you sure? I mean, I don't know, but I would gladly, be stoked about that. I thought it was just a point of conversation they did in April when they were like, we should be doing away with this, and then never actually do it. It's something to score you some points with your voter base.
I guess Arizona got something right.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens after tonight. Carrie Lake looks like a fucking nut job. But so to be fair, we have some nut jobs here in Colorado as well.
True, but she is absolutely fucking
Wait, awesome. Is it Lake or Bush? I can't remember what her last name is.
I think it's Lake.
Okay. Yeah, whatever it is. She's been going on the circuit recently. But so has our Republican female governor candidate. She went on recently with Conservative Daily's host Joe Oltman, who owns OCN, or Our Community Now, for those that may know those social pages or websites. He's also the same guy that called for lynching of all the Democrats. So we're not too far removed from having some folks that are just like pandering and slandering over here in Colorado. So I guess we shouldn't throw, too many stones into the glass house.
True.
All right, so enough about politics.
Yeah.
I went purple card. How do you think propositions 124, 125, and 126 will go?
I mean, I think that's tough. I truly think the whole licensing thing is going to get shot down, which I think it should.
Yeah, that's 124.
I think that's 124. I think that one's kind of bullshit. It's kind of shitting in the face of local liquor stores who may have wanted to expand, couldn't get more licenses, but now you're trying to give it to like these big corporations. Fuck that.
Yeah, and then 125 was grocery stores, I think. And then 126 was delivery from restaurants. So do you think those are going to pass?
I think the delivery thing will.
And then the grocery stores is kind of on the fence.
I mean, I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that might like their Kendall Jackson Chardonnays picking it up at the wine instead of walking 20 feet from the grocery store to go to that liquor store.
I know the guest on the podcast today just rolls his eyes and ears as he listens to that first part. It is going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how the state shakes out. Obviously, we know the valid points for both sides, ease of convenience, supporting local business, taking money out of their pockets, things of that nature. And we're always trying to be a proponent of small business. So we'll have to see how it shakes out. But I'm not going to be mad at restaurants being able to deliver booze with their food. So I can understand.
And I don't think like that's something I, during the pandemic, obviously I did more of. And occasionally I might do something when I order a thing, but I don't think it's like gonna be one of those things that's just people just flock to. But it's nice for them to have the option.
No, I agree. You're gonna end up paying that same marked up price for a bottle of wine, and then you have the service fees from our lovely friends over at Uber Eats and things of that nature. So I mean, it's gonna end up being like, fuck, I'll just go over there, grab a bottle of wine, and pick up dinner and come back around. So hopefully people still continue to support our friends over at Molly's and Spirits, Wines, Provisions, our friends at Mr. B's and Argonauts, Joy Wine and Spirits. We want to see those people survive and succeed. So I couldn't agree more, Chris. And that's a great transition of how much money I spend on alcohol into our next conversation point, which is, what would you do if you won the Powerball tonight?
I mean, there's so many things that I would do, but if I have to go with my number one, it'd probably be what I texted you last night when I picked up the Powerball ticket. I'd probably buy a mountain resort.
Where do you think you would buy? Would you be off I-70, or would you go get something like down in Pagosa Springs, like a Wolf?
I mean,
or would you try to go to like fucking Idaho?
To be honest with you, I don't know how much these mountain resorts go for, but if I had to
You're
guess,
so fucking poor. You don't even know.
if I had to guess, I could maybe
50
buy
M's, 100 M's.
Yeah, so I could probably buy 2 or 3. And what I would do is maybe buy 1 or 2 here in the States and then 1 over in another country, like maybe the French Alps.
Oh, there you go. That's a smart call. I like where your head's at.
I don't know. What would you do?
I would buy a sports team. I mean, I know it doesn't get you a football team, if you make $250,000 because you take the lump sum and then you get to pay taxes. So you walk away with roughly around 30 to 33% of the total number, which would be roughly around $650 million after the $2 million. And so I feel like I could probably get like an MLS team. I could join the ranks of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney and go get like a mid-tier soccer club, get a home. I would buy like a small French club or a Spanish club, somewhere that has better food. And so I can like repopulate myself in that town or in that community and not have to worry about getting shot at a grocery store here in the States. I would do something like that.
Good. Yeah. And then all you got to do once you buy that team, you just got to find yourself a Ted Lasso to just fucking steer him into the future.
Yeah. Or what's the dude's name from Moneyball, where he does more with less? I forgot his name, and I'm going to kick myself for not remembering it. Brad Pitt plays his name, whatever. But, be like, this guy, this is Chris Byard. He hits beautifully into the gaps, but can't hit a home run for shit. That's why we like him at this. That's what I need. I just need that guy. And I
Moneyball this bitch.
Yeah, Moneyball, a nice little, and have that same team also be in a community where we can drink fuck tons of wine. So I'll just be like drunk guy that smokes and drinks and then goes to his games.
Okay, so but answer me this: like, if you won the Powerball, let's say you had like an office job, what would you do that day? Would you just go in and say peace, I'm out, or would you not?
Okay, so that's a good question because it depends on what the job is. If you can survive for like 3 weeks without, any coming in income, because it's not long, it's going to end up being like that Jackie Moon situation where if you ask for a big check in a hurry, that check's going to bounce. So you're going to have to at least get yourself 6 weeks or so of like breathing room. And I'm sure there's a bank or a finance, it's like when an athlete says he's going pro, agents are like, here's a watch and $500,000 to sign with me because they know they'll get that money back in spades. That's exactly what a bank's going to do. Like, they're going to be like, yeah, you have shit credit, but you also have $700 million coming your way. So me, Bank of America, is giving you a private jet and a marker, which is a casino term, for $200,000. So then I can just go gallivant around Monaco, smoking big cigars, drinking and gambling, which is what anybody wants to, and then just wake up and eat prawns out of the sea on my yacht like Jerry Jones.
Probably have somebody feed them to you if you wanted.
Ooh, like Bacchus, the Greek god.
I would never have a running fan. I would just have someone fanning me.
Yeah, day. I'm over having ceiling fans and wall plugins. I just have
more environmentally friendly.
Yeah. Just waves you. The royal penis is clean, Your Highness. That's a Coming to America joke for those that are curious. It's a 1986 classic with Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall. Okay, so we've talked about some of what we thought would be a good idea, Chris. Give me 1 second while I go pull up our guests and friends in the community's best answers for what would you do if you won the $2 billion prize. The problem is my internet is fucking garbage, so give me a second. Okay, here we go. Someone said I'd buy the company I last worked for just so I could go back in and fire the people I fucking hated. I kind of respect that level of petty. I think we could also respect this, paying my mom her well-earned wages for raising this type of fucker.
Touche.
Yeah, we could both agree to that one as well. Someone said I would buy the Rockies. That family, while cheap, would charge you more than $1 billion. Boring. This one sounds fun. Here's a question for you to follow up. This girl said, or gentleman, no girl, it says lady, renting out Red Rocks and having my favorite bands play a show for me and my friends. What bands would you have if you had an unlimited budget for yourself to throw a celebratory party, Chris, for you winning the Powerball?
What bands would I have? Fuck. Okay, I guess just fuck.
You're so bad at this. Fuck. Okay, so anyways,
just hold on, pause. All right, I'll do it really quick. All right. Let's say Rolling Stones.
God, you're bad at this. All right, so we'll continue
Fuck
on.
you, dude. You answer it.
Okay, fine. Why don't you pick somebody like Lil Wayne, or you get somebody like Kendrick Lamar, and then you get somebody like Billy Joel or Elton John, fucking make Genesis get back together, make Talking Heads get back together by making Copeland and David Byrne accept the money, so much money they couldn't say no. That's what you do, Chris. You have to think about the bands that don't work together anymore.
Well,
like,
I didn't know you could just make that happen.
John Mayer and the Room Full of Squares back together, Chris.
I didn't know you were just going to magically be able to make bands just work together.
Fucking money, Chris. That's what magically makes bands work together. That and Travis Barker fucking one of the Kardashians until he's not scared of flying. Those are the two things. If you think bands like are friends again after not speaking for 40 years, you're mistaken. They're getting paid droves of money to go out on tour together. It's like getting Mike and Mike back on ESPN radio. Okay, so you did fairly okay at best. Someone said they'd buy a fried chicken restaurant. The key is not about buying a fried chicken restaurant. It's about the cooks in the restaurant. You have to have the proper people with the seasoning and the passion. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Although you could just buy your local Popeyes and be pretty happy.
Yeah, or, as they say, let that money work for you. Go buy like 5 or 6 Whataburgers in Texas or Chick-fil-A's in Mississippi, somewhere where they hate the, homosexuals. Hammer that Chick-fil-A contract. Buy 10 of them, become a deacon at your church, start laundering money through the GOP. The options are endless if you wanted to go through the fast food chain restaurant.
That's very well put.
Yeah, thank you. That's what Chick-fil-A is. It's a money laundering operation. Rather than calling in and giving money to Joel Osteen, you do it third-handly by going through one of the restaurants. I don't have anything else. Did you eat anything good last week?
Last week? Yeah. I mean, well, no, I got some Thai food. I got some killer Thai food from US Thai right across the street.
Nice. What'd you go with?
I went this time with just pad Thai. That's what I was feeling. I wanted some nudes, and I went Thai hot. I wasn't fucking around, and it was pretty fucking hot. Like I definitely sweated it out.
The Thai hot at US Thai will make it painful to eat.
Yeah, like I didn't realize what I had gotten myself into, and I tried to stop too because my mouth ended up being on fire. But it was more of like, my mouth doesn't get so hot, I just start sweating. And so I was just sweating my tits off down here. And I ended up obviously eating the whole thing. So It was
Hey,
good.
that's totally understandable. I have more of that Americanized heat level, so I stop at like 4. Like I like hot, but not Thai hot kind of vibes. So that's kind of where I am.
Yeah, and then I almost forgot Sunday night, Indian craving. So I went to him Chuli.
Oh yeah, okay, the one right there in the square of Highlands.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, they do some Indian dishes really, really well. That's why they've been one of my go-tos for a long time.
Oh well, I dig it. I actually hit up Urban Village, which has been highly regarded from Chef or from Patty. I hit that up when I was down near the studio the other day. It's fucking excellent Indian food. I wasn't trying to one up you, but
No,
it was great. That was kind
I
of all
thought,
crazy last week.
is it down south?
Yeah, it's in the fucking mall at Park Meadows.
Oh, okay, yeah. I heard about that. It
Yeah,
made
I mean, it's
5280
good. But
spot.
say what?
It made it in the 5280 thing, didn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
And a friend of ours, Jeremy Harlan, was he said that was his stop because he lives down in what we call New Mexico. He calls Lone Tree, whatever you want to call it. So I was down that way, and so we had lunch, and it really was knock your socks off delicious. So if you ever find yourself down there shopping or whatever, give him a whirl, Chris. You would really enjoy it.
What'd you have?
It wasn't like a vindaloo, but it was a spiced lamb dish. That was our entree. The fried kale. Yes, you heard that right. Fried fucking kale. It's like deep fried. Like it's got like an actual like fluff texture to it almost. It is so good. It's topped with like a crema and like kind of a chutney, whatever that mint chutney is they have at, I can't remember what they fucking called it, but it was delightful. Topped with little, fresh herbs, vegetables. Samosas were good, not necessarily good as Dave Hadley's samosas, but good. And then the tempura fried cauliflower was delicious. The naan is better than anybody else's in the city. Or in the metro. It's unreal. But that was literally the only place I think I ate out last week.
Did you go into the mall at Park Meadows?
Not this time specific, but the video studio is down there for Mile High Life. So I'm not far removed from it. So I've been down there in the last couple months, shopping for Lululemon pants or LL Bean sweaters, getting ready for autumn.
Nice.
But not time. Okay, so do we have anything else? Do we miss anything? The world will not be burning. Chris, what channel are you watching for your news coverage tonight? MSNBC?
I like to flip between them, but I kind of like CNN.
Okay.
Where do you watch?
News.
Fox?
No, I'm not watching Fox, Dick. I'm watching CBS Sports Network because we have money on Maction, but we also want to be able to flip between the CBSs in case Big Bang Theory comes on in between voter turnouts. So I'm going to stick with the national news, hopefully a little less, bias and partiality, but we'll see.
We all know that's not true. There is no impartiality in the fucking news these days. Luckily for this podcast, we've got you covered. Unabated, great, raw conversation, which leads us to our next conversation with our friend, Joel Kampfe, the co-founder of Unrooted Wine Club. And that conversation is presented to you by Standing Akimbo and our friends over at Batch Extracts. Let's have some fun. Cheers.
Welcome back to another podcast interview presented by Batch Extracts, the premier product from the Bud and Mary's cannabis products line. Obviously, y'all know them because they have a multitude of different products across 200 locations in the Front Range in the Denver metro area, but they also have them in places like Michigan, Iowa, and coming to y'all's shelves soon are the 2-gram cartridges. Yep, you heard that right. Starting next week. We've all talked about the 500s. We've talked about the full grams. Well, now we're talking about the double barrel 2Gs. It's for those that obviously run out on that full gram for a week, or maybe you're going home to see the family for the holidays and you need to make sure you have enough equipment to get by. Batch Extracts is here for you. You can go to their website, Bud and Mary Cannabis, or you you can check out their social media page at Batch Extracts, and you can find the locations nearest you through Weed Maps, Pot Guide, and things of that nature. But I can't tell you enough how bad you need to have these things in your rotation. Delicious flavors, they fucking stroke, and now you have the fucking things that look like the size of a carrot of a Kim Kardashian ring. We're talking big boys, y'all, and we have a big boy guest joining us today. We're slurping on some of the juice. We're sitting down with Joel Kampfe, the co-founder of Unrooted Wines. Did I do it right, Joel?
You did it. You nailed it.
Fuck
Love
yes.
it.
I usually fuck up the last name, so I tried to do it phonetically and get it right. So I appreciate you joining me.
Love being here. Can't wait to drink some natural wines with you.
Hell yeah. So for those that maybe don't know, we're going to talk a little bit deeper about Unrooted wines. But before we get into that, Joel, we ask all of our guests the same question just to kind of get the ball going. Are you a native or a transplant to here, Colorado?
We'll say a little bit of both. My wife and I, our family, live in Wash Park area. Been a part of the Denver community for a really long time. Started a business here, started a wine bar here. I am a kind of a transient guy. I've kind of bounced around a lot of different places, but call Denver my home.
Okay, so that's called a transplant. That's a transplant. Unless, because when someone says they're a native, we're like, what hospital were you born in? And then someone's like, oh, well, I was born in Jersey. You'd be like, motherfucker, you're a transplant just like them. But no, the name derives from our original podcast name. It's molded over time, and here we are at Stoned Appetite to this day. But I mean, for the right reasons, you know, you're here, you're doing the damn thing. It sounds like you found a nice foothold in the wine industry and in the community. What was it that brought you to Colorado, or, you know, where did we grow up? Where did we get formative years?
Yeah, you know, I grew up in California, California boy, kind of an ag land in Fresno, California. What's up, Fresno? Then spent most of my time in the Bay Area. So we're talking San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley area, and have been in the wine industry essentially my entire adult life. Moved to Napa a little bit, did some winemaking there, and then moved to New Zealand and worked in a winery there making some Sauvignon Blanc, and that was a lot of fun. With a bunch of other transplants being transplanted from other
just bipping
other
and
countries.
bopping.
I'm bipping, I'm bopping, I'm
you're a
dodging,
grape
I'm
slut.
weaving.
You're a grape
a little
slut.
bit of a grape slut.
How'd you fall in love with it? Was it, I mean, obviously, when I grew up in Mississippi, so we grew up two totally different worlds, lives, and things of that. Was there an early introduction into wine because you're up there in in that corridor, like the fucking French feeding their kids wine when they're 12? Is it a similar situation that you fell in love with the grape and the terrain, or how did it all come about?
You know, it's kind of funny. I started out at Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo doing some viticulture stuff. Doing some business, and it was actually my older sister. I'll give her credit. She bought me my first bottle of wine, which is $2 Chuck. So it's a $2 bottle.
Everybody knows the TJ wine.
And
May he rest in peace.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what? I ended up doing a beer bong of the entire bottle, and it didn't go so well. But I got my first taste of wine. Even if it was coming out the other end, I was like, you know what? I like this stuff. I can talk about it. Then I met a couple Psalms when I was working at Edna Valley in San Luis Obispo. And I was like, hey, I like the way they talk about wine. I want to learn more. So I kind of started with kind of the more traditional route, doing the whole sommelier courses and learning kind of like the foundational stuff. And then took that information and kind of found my own slice of heaven within the industry. So did some winemaking, did some wine bar stuff, and then made my own wine for a long time. And then kind of wanted to open up my own wine bar. I wanted to start my own wine club.
I mean, I love it. And what's kind of interesting, and it's one of kind of what got me into the natural wine scene, is a friend of ours who joined us on this podcast back in like season 1 or 2 when we were doing like COVID stuff, was Brian McClintock from Vita Cole Wine.
Nice.
Obviously, he's in that same camp of the natural scene. He's a funky character, and I love talking to him.
Yeah.
But that, you know, we joined the Vita Cole Wine Club, which was his, but it wasn't necessarily as approachable as the Unrooted, especially for those that are trying to maybe dip their toe into the game.
Yep.
But y'all have a lot of the similarities, whether it be, you know, the career paths or, you know, y'all's outlook on life, but also y'all's, you know, flavors and wines. So I'm excited to kind of pick your brain. I guess the first question would be you know, did working in the wine bar and wine scene help you kind of familiarize yourself with the end user to where you felt knowledgeable enough to create a wine club? Because that's like me. I want to create an NFT that has deals in my favorite restaurants and cannabis products, but it is a little vain being like, y'all buy into my thought process. How did you kind of build that confidence, working through the scene? And, what was it that was like, fuck it, I can do this. I don't have to pitch somebody else's product.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I just loved. And still to this day, my favorite thing is to tell the winemaker's story. So I've had the opportunity to travel around the world and actually visit all of these producers that we're going to taste today, that that you guys are going to get in this Unrooted shipment. I know these guys, I know the importers really well, and it gave me the confidence to say, okay, how do I tell these stories in a very approachable way? I'm a very approachable guy. I don't like to be too pretentious. I mean, I'm wearing a 1985
Space Invaders.
Space Invaders mixed with wine. It's shout out to Ted Carrick who got me this shirt. He's my co-founder, partner, and friend. Awesome shirt. But the whole point is to be how do you convey the message of the winemaker in a very confident and approachable way that's fun and irreverent. So at Unrooted, that's what we do is we tell these stories, and I do it in like hand drawn cartoons and kind of very approachable, irreverent language. So it's funny, it's fun, but you pick up that golden nugget. So I've been doing that in the wine bar scene. I've been doing that for the wine club, and I've been doing that in every interaction, including right now. It's like we're going to take it down to the lowest common denominator derivative. It might get a little bit silly, but you might pick up something. You might learn something, and you might be like, hey, I learned something cool. And that's what we're trying to do at Unrooted is if I can't be in front of the person when they're trying the wine, at least I can get a box in front of them with my personality saying like, hey, let's go on this wine adventure together.
No, and I think that's a great thing you do. You include fun little tags that tell you a little bit about the journey of not only the grape, but also the winemaker. We have some friends that in that scene, and when they talk about it, it's almost like very passionate, and it may not even be their product, but they're like, I've watched, these hands build this out. And so making it approachable and, cost friendly, which y'all have done, is two great ways to do it, but making it, goofy and like I think this pairing goes well with candy because of the Halloween season that just passed. That was a really great way to kind of showcase it to those that may be intimidated by not knowing what some of these words are, like, the Cuvées of the world. And you're like, the fuck am I getting in this wine box? Why am I paying $89 or $100, a month for it without knowing what you're going to get? So you kind of paint that picture beautifully.
Thank you. Yeah. Sometimes a wine doesn't even pair with food. And sometimes we put in like this wine pairs with, or this wine is meant to be, smoking weed or chugging this bottle on your porch while reading Mad Magazine, like whatever. Like some of them are just meant to have fun with and talk about approachability. Some of these wines are meant to be, chugged. They're glue, like what the French call glue, which is like a pouch.
A porch poucher?
Pouch porcher.
Welcome to the world of, getting all tongue-tied. You get excited and it happens. And so, but we've started to kind of see these kinds of wines, this approachable, fun, not as stuffy or refined of an environment or setting required to enjoy a $30 or $40 bottle of wine. But you can get all those in the wine club. Obviously California has this love and this knowledge, and we started to see that kind of grow up into the Pacific Northwest with, the success in the Wawa and along the Willamette. Has Colorado kind of accepted, because it seems as we've started to see this natural wine not rebirth, but kind of like growth here in Colorado, and we've heard the same in larger cities on the East Coast, but this has all been like around for fucking million years. Yeah. But like, has Colorado been as receptive to it as, some of your travels have seen? Have we been very nice and kind to the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's coming along. And to answer your first question, that's why I came to Colorado in the first place, is because these cities like San Francisco, New York, where I've lived in the past, everyone is drinking natural wine, and it's something that, they're getting more and more wines from around the world, and it's easy to access wherever you go. And from my experience in Colorado, opening up, I'm one of the partners at NobleRiot, with Troy, who you spoke to, and Scott and Nicole. These guys, were really like, hey, let's break the ground and start like a true natural wine experience. It's fun, it's approachable. And people really took on to it. And I loved seeing that. It was just like people were excited. Like, what is this? And the fun thing about natural wine is everyone kind of starts at the same level, right?
What the fuck? Why is this orange?
Yeah, it's
Or
like, why is it orange?
It's
and
like
what's
magenta.
Going on? Yeah,
it looks like
exactly.
one of the characters from Perfect Dark.
It looks
the
like
GoldenEye spinoff.
Oh my gosh, Perfect Dark. You
remember
the
that
laptop gun?
Dude, yes. She was awesome.
We used to play that all the time.
It was a great knockoff, and like the colors were always cool. Like when you're,
oh, dude, yeah. Oh, some of those challenges with those like yellow guys. Oh my gosh, this wine looks like lava, and that's why I love it. Like it just looks like blood orange lava. But everyone starts at the same level, right? It's like you and I can learn about this wine together because it's not like coming from the slopes of Bordeaux or from like the left or right bank of, the slopes of Burgundy or the left or right bank of Bordeaux. You know, it's not something that we have to have a lot of knowledge prior. It's more of like a unique experience that we can share together and learn about it together. And you're right, it is the OG of winemaking. Like this is the way white wine used to look. Every wine was like this color, and that's the way they used to do it. And now in Colorado, they're catching on to that, and a lot of producers are making pet nats, which I should have brought one. Damn it!
It's all right. We've had some folks have seen it on the Mile High Life video. We loved our friends at Salvage Spectrum.
Yeah,
They're doing, so like Colorado seems to kind of be like, coming
getting it.
around with the growing process and realizing that, maybe these are the route we could take and be more fruitful, especially with what the climate may be in the future. Patrick said exactly that. So.
Yeah. And then, you and I were talking about Ty from Carbol. He's doing a lot of cool things with these Colorado varietals that can handle the cold, these cold hardy varietals as they're called. Like he's doing some really fun stuff. So, and Lance from Jackrabbit Hill, just saw him a couple days ago. He's doing a lot of fun stuff. So there's a lot building up right now. And, it's so fun being at, one of the forefronts of representing what's happening here in Colorado in our backyard, and it's only growing.
I mean, I couldn't agree more, especially as we start or continue to see a younger population kind of, trying it out, because these porch pounders aren't like the ones that are like full bodied that like you have to kind of be sit inside with red meat. Like you can fucking drink an 11%, whatever, pour a chilled red during a football Saturday and be like, oh, I can still get up and, operate not necessarily heavy machinery, but like I can operate the air fryer.
I could do some surgery right now. Let's go get some knife and some sutures.
That's a little sensitive subject. That's kind of fucked up, Joel. A little PTSD right now. But yeah, I'm not saying I'll drive home after a bottle, but it's one of those ones where you're not like, you knocked your dick in the dirt.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point of it too, is like, these are everyday wines. Like I like to think of it as the best table wines from around the world. People are like, oh, table wines, like that's not something that's no, these are what people drink on their tables every day. It's like their salt, their pepper, and their fun orange wine that maybe they made, and traded for some eggs in this farm in France. Like that's the deal, is like they're making everyday but high quality, delicious, clean wines. It's exactly what we're trying to represent.
I know, and I love that, because you hear oftentimes it's an urban myth, or the best wines are the ones that never leave the village, is because they're like those type situations, like this shit's banging. I'm going to barter with the people in my community. Like I don't need to make $1 off these folks, right. That's not the objective when you make something that's, as you speak about the passionately, they're growing it in the same aspect as well. So
absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about, I had the pleasure of having the package sent to me just before the holidays, but I got fairly buzzed up through the process of the week, and I drank up most of them. But let's talk a little bit about how you go about picking them, because they're not all just the crazy, funky, biodynamic, macerated orange wines. You have something for everybody that you can kind of dial in for the wine club, pending the season and things of that nature. How do we pick, and where do we pick some of the wines that we have coming out now, and some that are just in the shop on your website?
Yeah, absolutely. So what Ted, my business partner, and I do is we come up with themes for every month. So every month it's going to be 4 bottles for a different theme. So it's like, let's represent Loire Valley. Let's represent a style like Pet Nat. Let's represent a single producer who's doing some cool stuff that may not be represented very well. So it's just building out the entire theme. And then what I'll do is I'll go out and taste with the distributor, with the importer, or they will ship me out samples and say, hey, this is the theme for December. Here's like 16 things I think you'll really like. And I know you know all about that. It's like you're getting these things sent to you, and you're really trying to be discerning of like what represents what we're trying to do the best. And then I like to do the extra homework and not only research the wine, but actually try to visit that region, that land, or really do a deep dive into the grape or the process. And then that's when I translate into cartoons of like, okay, now that I understand it fully myself, let's draw a cartoon about it and see if we can describe it to everybody, because people need to know about this style or whatever it may be. So it's a mixture of coming up with fun themes, and it could be, I mean, we've done themes like Eastern Europe. We've done celebrating female winemakers from Santa Barbara. We've done Halloween was black and orange wines. Like, what's a black wine? There's only a handful of grapes that have that high dark pigment. Some of the healthiest wine for you as well.
I saw, you were kind of like, if you were reading about it on the little cards you gave us, and I was like, black wine?
Yeah.
What the fuck is he talking about? But you're right, that shit is dark as night.
Yeah, and we'll actually, we could actually try one too from Georgia, one of the OGs of black wine. We have a Saperavi here, which is really good. But anyway, like whatever I'm inspired about, like I'm always tasting wine, always. I'm always tasting wine, so it's like, oh my gosh, I just tasted this crazy wine. Boom, I got a theme. Let's do this theme. And I'll just run away with it and be like, all right, here are the cartoons. And, just like the creative process. And I just get inspired by these styles. And, we have Japanese wine here. It's like, maybe we'll do a Japanese month. It's just like the sky's the limit. There's just the whole world to work with. So it's just the limit to my imagination is where it stops,
I have this sneaking suspicion because I'm in that same camp. I want to do this and I want to do that. And I want to, Stoned Appetit could do a travel series and I could do, let me do wine tasting where I go to. And you're just like, but you have that same enthusiasm. You're like, I want to try, oh my God, look at the color of this. It looks like bourbon. Yeah. But so you mentioned, you've traveled to these locations. Let's talk a little bit about the world's wine scene. Yep. I think everybody kind of goes in waves. Noirs are huge. Here and then something there and then whatever. Yeah. What's the hottest thing going right now out there outside of our bubble? What's the rest of the world vibing on that people are rushing to grow and get vines up and at them?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Thank you. I only ask good questions, Joel. Especially after like 4 glasses of wine, I really get good questions.
Yeah, it's funny. It's so region by region, but I mean, the whole world is seeing, a resurgence of giving a nod to the past, whether it be the wine that's in your glass, which is like this crazy wine that was buried underground for a matter of days, weeks, months, years to get like this crazy color. Or completely giving homage to like more peasant wine, which back in the day was this wine where they'd take pumice, like instead of making grappa, they'd make a sparkling wine, which is called piquette, which is
the double stepped on.
Yeah, exactly. So there's just there's a lot of new generation of winemakers coming in and doing a lot of fun things that maybe their dad didn't do or their granddad or 400 years prior, because there's a lot of history in wine. Dating back 8,000 years. So it's this next generation coming in and saying, I want to try doing this style. I want to try doing this.
It's like the fashion. Like, our parents wore these preposterous pants in the 70s and 80s. Yeah. And then you ask your parents, for 70s Day, what do I wear? And you're like, oh, this doesn't sound fun. And then it kind of comes cyclically.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, right now I feel like it's 90s clothing. Like,
I
walk around like, wait, I used to wear that to like.
You're like, is that guy wearing a blue jean jacket everywhere he goes? Yeah. Or does it have something sewn in on the back? You're like, yeah. And that thing's $700 fucking. You're like, God damn it. I had one of those until I was 11.
Yeah, and the shoes too. The shoes with like the big platforms that are. It's like, wait, those I used to get made fun of for wearing those, and now it's like the cool popular thing.
Yeah, someone stuffed me in my locker and called me a fucking loser.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I believe whatever you had in fashion, like you may be my age or maybe a little bit older, but we probably had 2 different fashion sense of what's going on in Berkeley, San Fran, and what was going on in Jackson, Mississippi. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean,
I was black sweatshirt with Gottschalk's jeans that were too baggy. Like it was
Jinkos.
Baggy. Yeah, exactly. Jinkos,
so 90s kids, and then in high school it was like frat swoops and polo shirts, which I kick myself in the ass every time I see that. I'm like, never again.
Yeah, I know. I stayed on the black sweatshirt thing for way too long, and then finally I found a different color, and I was like, let's try red or yellow.
Oh, gray.
It takes a while. Yeah. Gray's kind of cool now.
Well, I mean, if your fashion sense never peaked, it's because your interests were elsewhere. You mentioned you were an artist, so I'm guessing you were an ADHD student, because you seem like bouncing a little, like, I just want to be active, doing things. Yeah. How was it, like, figuring your way into the wine world? Was it easier than like maybe trying to find a fucking 9-to-5 under fluorescent lighting? You're like, I can't be a bank teller any longer.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. My family would say the exact same thing. Like they probably were a little worried about me. There's some bets going on. They're like, oh, this guy's probably not going to graduate college because he can't stand still. But exactly. But when I found the thing that I was passionate about with wine, I was able to like focus and understand, because it's an entire world, so that you can never know everything, right? There are always things to learn. There are always things to discover. And I like that about it. And it's something that I could grasp and understand and talk about in a creative way. So if I like to draw or create weird things, like what better way than wine? Wine is like art and science combined, and it's the perfect balance of that. And that fit my personality perfectly. So I was like, yes, I found something. See, but it wasn't until like after college. It wasn't until after all of that
I
stuff.
get it, brother.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly. There's a button on it. I used to draw on my arm, like my veins in different colors, and now I have tattoos on both arms. Like it was a sign that I didn't want to be sit still doing something. I wanted to be out talking and interacting.
Yeah.
Maybe having a cocktail or a smoke with somebody. Maybe we both just should have trained in primer school.
Or they
in
should
France.
have a school. They should have a school.
Sit in our ass to
with, like-
Lyon where we smoke cigarettes and drink at lunch.
Exactly, yeah.
That's what we would have been primed for.
Let's just make a school with people that can't sit still, and we find out what makes you sit still for a while.
Yeah, like what gets you like caring? And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This guy likes Price is Right. Maybe he should.
I do like Price is Right. It is
A sick day was clutch. Greg.
yeah, man, right?
Okay, so a couple more questions about the world. You mentioned that you like to travel to try these wines before you put them in there, so you can speak with the wine owners, wine makers. Where is a part of the country or part of the world that you're loving right now? You're like, you mentioned Japanese. We have a Georgian wine here.
Yeah.
I've heard great things about the Czech and the Eastern European wine scene because it is technically old world, but not oftentimes thought of it as the Western old world.
Yeah.
Of France and Italy and things of that nature. What's piquing your interest now?
Yeah. You know what? It's like that whole Central to Eastern Europe is a lot of fun.
The price is a little lower too, so your money goes a little further if you're trying to go over there and gallivant a little bit.
Yeah, I gallivant. I'm prancing
I have the words.
gallivanting.
I have the words for
dancing,
massaging our work credit card. Yeah, I know.
So I've gallivanted through Croatia and Slovenia and Hungary and had a really great wine experience. And it's remarkable because you get such a great value, like you were saying. The grapes might be harder to pronounce or to remember, but they offer so much quality. And you have a lot of history there, so there's a lot of historic styles and producers that are just kind of doing fun, unique things. So I would not ignore that kind of central strip of Europe. And then as you go east, you have like a ton of history. You have Georgia, Romania, and we're talking like Transylvanian wine. I want to do a Transylvanian month for Unrooted, so I'm talking to Ted about that. It doesn't have to be October. I mean, Dracula is alive at all months of the year,
Bram
right?
Stoker. I read that. It took me like 7 months to read.
Mine was 8 months. It took me 8 months, but I got there.
We aren't readers. We're creatives.
Yeah. I read what my wife will tell you. I read one page, especially the Bram Stoker, and I'll just stare at the ceiling and just think about it like, whoa. She's like, you got to keep reading,
Wait till you get to page 2. It's the same advice people have been telling LeBron. Just wait till you actually read the fucking book.
Yeah, exactly. Love that book. But yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, there's a whole world out there. So I'm really excited about Chile. There's a lot of cool Chilean producers. There's a lot of cool producers outside of Chile that are moving to Chile to buy land.
Is the South American, is that kind of, everybody knows the Argentinian Malbec scene. Is the Chilean high country, I guess it'd probably be a little more rocky, minerally, granite, shit like that. Are people flocking to Chile to start kind of getting it up and going?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you think about it, Chile and California have a lot in common, right? California is like California as a whole has a lot of
climate-wise
growing conditions that make really great wine. Obviously, it's like its own country when it comes to wine too. Chile has the same thing, but just in the southern hemisphere. It has all the influences of the Pacific Ocean. You have the mountains to the east, which are the Andes, that separate Chile and Argentina. So a lot of similarities, and it's affordable. So you can buy a couple acres of land and grow some good Cab, Carmenere, Pinot, Chardonnay. They have
the Carmenere scene down there. I've also heard very
Carmenere is great, man. I love it. They do a lot of great Carmenere down there. They actually have a lot of cool Bordeaux varietals that just were transplanted and sent to South America via Argentina. So there's a lot of fun wines. There's a Pais, which is like the country wine. The first grape to enter California, called the Mission. So they're the same grape. So there's a lot going on in Chile, a lot going on. I mean, I want to go to Santiago tomorrow and just like take notes and figure out what I have a lot of catching up to do with Chile because it's just like changing every 5 years.
How often do you get kind of make your rounds? Like, what was the last place you visited?
Oh man, I mean, there's that whole weird period where
You talking about the cocoa?
the cocoa. Oh man, that
Yeah, that was
I
a
don't know
small.
how many.
Everybody heard about it.
Yeah, the whole cocoa thing. But 2 months ago, I was in Sicily,
Fuck yeah.
and oh man, we stayed. My family stayed at my wife and I and our little baby. We stayed at a little farmstead in Mount Etna, which is the active volcano in Sicily. And Mount Etna makes phenomenal wines, and that volcano goes off like on average every 10 years, and it just destroys burning lava everywhere. And then they replant, they build back, and then all of a sudden you have this new minerality and a whole new flavor set that comes every so often. It's amazing. Like I went
It literally changes the profile.
changes everything. Like we went through like a tomato and cucumber tasting vertical of like try this. You know, cucumber was from this kind of soil, from this kind of soil, from this year, from this lava. And I was like, they're like, think about it. Lava is coming from the core of the earth, and all these new flavors are coming out every time it erupts. And so they're all about their lava. And so I got obsessed with Sicilian wines and brought in some fun stuff from Sicily. So that was the last one. And that, oh man, there's still so much more to explore there.
I fucking love that. And the fact that you think of exploding lava out of a volcano that, I mean, you know, killed millions of people and, you know, civilizations over the course of time from that exact region. And then you're like, man, they've really been playing with fire, literally magma, but it's got a lot of flavor. Like it brings out these tannins that really slap on a wine. And I'm just like, yeah, you know, imagine that person that like, there's that picture of the person that was, you know, caught by, I guess, Pompey, and he's like tugging on himself. And you're over here like, yeah, man, this guy's knee made a killer. You know,
yeah. Other people they're like helping people like with all the bodies, and I'm just like over there like tasting vegetables and
oh
grapes.
my God,
like,
y'all taste the flavor of this cucumber.
Yeah. They're like there's nobody left to taste it.
I would hope they have like an evacuation plan where like they're like, it seems that today is the day. There's 28 boats for all 2,800 people that live on Mount Etna, or what, you know, I don't know how it all breaks up.
Well, you know what's funny is I was asking about that. I was like, oh my gosh, when the volcano erupts, it must be like this crazy thing. Everyone get out of here. They're like, do you know how fast lava goes? It goes like it's like molasses. So it's like the lava comes down and you're all like, oh my God, there it comes. It's like the Austin Powers scene where there's like the steamroller coming. No! It's like, oh, okay, I guess let's back up and go. It'll be probably 10 days before it gets to our house.
It's kind of like getting like a hurricane evacuation in Florida. They're like, hey, by the way, in 4 days, shit's going to suck here. Get out if you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And we can't stop it. Like, there's nothing we can this molasses is going to burn through your foundation.
Yeah, but it's going to taste good after.
By God, the wines are going to be exceptional. We're all great tourism after. All right, so that's actually pretty interesting. You mentioned Sicily, we've talked Georgian, we've talked black wines and orange wines. What do we have on the docket? Let's talk a little bit about, you know, holiday season's coming up. If somebody wanted to like sign up for the wine club for maybe their partner, how often does it work? How do we go about, you know, doing the process of signing up? Do we get to pick it? Let's talk about the nitty gritty for those that have questions about that. How much do the memberships cost? I don't even remember. At this point,
absolutely.
we have, you know, company card pays for things.
That's
like,
right,
experience and things. So give us the skinny, as they say.
Yeah, the skinny. So the skinny is, it's 4 wines, and we can either do 4 wines a month, or you can skip a month. We're very flexible with that. And if you're doing every month, you can just email us and say, hey, I want to skip this month. We're like very flexible and very responsive to that. So, but the standard club is 4 bottles a month. That ties into a certain theme. It's $109 a month, and we also have a red only that we do. It's a very selective, and that's $119 a month.
Which is probably pretty nice for a winter because it's not all going to be like the funky natural reds. You'll have some of those full-bodied, long, you know, fat tannin, you know, reds. You have everything. We're just talking today about the ones that get Kip's dick hard.
Yeah, exactly. And I can see that.
Yeah. Sorry, it's poking. I wore linen because the weather was nice.
Yeah. So also we, you know, I select the wines. So essentially you're saying, hey, Joel, here's $109 a month. Find me 4 cool, badass natural wines. And that's what I do. And I love feedback too. Give me all the feedback. Send me an email, send me a text. We have a close relationship with our members even as it grows, because I want to interact with everybody as much as possible. And, you might be the same way. It's like, hey, send me that feedback. This is great.
DM me every time.
You know, why not? So we have a lot of great feedback, and so it's 4 bottles. It's every month or every other month. I'm selecting the wines based off the theme. Like in December, we're doing pet nats. So pet nat seasons are top. So thinking about seasonality and things that go really well, we have a gift subscription that we do. You could do 1, 3, 6, 9, whatever you want to do for a gift subscription. If you want to gift someone from your work or someone from your buddy of yours,
Who the
whatever.
fuck's gifting their work? Someone you're sleeping with or sex?
Yeah, if you want that raise, get up to your boss
I
and
forgot
say,
about
here's
that.
3 months
Yeah.
of Unrooted.
If somebody gave me a wine membership, I would be more inclined to give them more money when it came to performance reviews.
If someone bribed me, I'd be like, yeah, whatever you want, man. Just give me the wine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I worked harder for my boss when he introduced me to some of these funky kind of things, and so I was like, oh, wine's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, I like working for him. No, I just got a cost of living raise. So.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good call.
But yeah, it's and we're offering 40% off for all the listeners on this podcast.
Get the fuck out of here! 40%
yeah,
off.
a little promo code.
Did y'all hear that? So that's $69 for your
Exactly.
first month's
first
purchase.
month.
You go to
Exactly.
Unrooted wines on social media. You'll see it, or you can go directly to their website, unrootedwines.com. What's the promo code?
Stoned.
Oh yeah, that fits. That's promo code STONED at unrootedwines.com. Fuck yeah,
Yep.
thanks
Correct,
for doing
man.
that,
Yeah,
dude. I mean, I don't get that. That's bullshit. I already did my first order. Damn it.
We only give it to the listeners, man. Yeah, you got to pay full price.
That's totally fair. And you know what is also fair is that I'm going to drink you out of house at home today. So we're having fun here in the Mile High Sports studio. We have drivers that are going to get me home, but we're also just down the street from another wine bar. Yeah. So like technically we've got refuge. If you came
we
to
do.
it.
We have refuge at another wine bar, which there might be some more wine in that wine bar. So
Okay, so I mean we'll drink them all. So we have Pet Nat season that's been popping. We have the reds only for those that may want to stock up for soup, chili, spaghetti season. That's kind of what we get with those low early sunsets, the more full-bodied reds.
Yeah. And then November, actually, so Ted and I have been in business for 4 years. So this is our 4-year nativersary that we're celebrating.
Nativersary.
It's a 4-year nativersary. So to celebrate, we're actually sending 4 of our favorite wines from our eShop to all of our members. So not too late to sign up for November and get some highlights. Some of the stuff that I stash away that I don't even put on the eShop because I'm probably going to drink this later. We're just showing off all that stuff. So we have a bunch of fun wines. It comes with a really cool, all bottles come with a really cool tag that says, "Hello, I am a Pinot Gris with skin contact. This is why I'm orange. Follow my journey." And then we have a fun welcome letter that I make. It's essentially on a cardboard and drawing grapes that look like apples. People tell me oh, it looks like an apple. I'm like, it's a grape. And the grape kind of guides you and tells you what's going on with your shipment. So November's going to be a fun month. It's going to be a lot of our kind of our highlights of the year. And then we're starting with Pet Nats right in December. That's a month you want to get into because pet nats are limited, so we buy as much as we possibly can.
So by signing up, if you're listening to this, it's obviously the early part of November. There's 3 weeks left, so you'll get that, best of. And then if you keep the package rolling, obviously next month it'll increase in price because you'll use the promo code STONED for your first month. But you'll also, the second month, you really get to see them flex their natty vibes, that biodynamic scene. So, I mean, you get the best representation of it. And it's the first 2 months. It's holiday season. You're going to have to deal with your family or somebody else's family, which is a perfect time to drink 2 bottles to the dome. So you might as well stock up, get the full 8, and reevaluate in January. I can guarantee you'll still stay with the program. You're going to love it. Priced friendly. You get multiple bottles, and they'll show you the whole thing on the website too. All of the shop is over there. It's gnarly, but put your hands in. I mean, Joel's got you. He's got you taken care of.
I got you. I'll take good care of you guys. I got it.
Okay, so before we go, I want to ask you some questions. This is a food-based podcast. We like to eat and smoke things.
Yep.
What is your favorite? Obviously, we talked about the wine. Food-wise, favorite place that was unsuspecting. Don't say fucking Paris. Everybody knows Paris is food. You put us on some pretty exotic wines and some pretty obscure stuff. Give us a city or a country that blew you away from the food scene through your work and travels.
You know, man, the most memorable food experience I've had was actually in Ljubljana, Slovenia. That's a whole lot of words in a kind of a funky place, but Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia, had this one restaurant. I don't even remember what it was called because we were drinking wine and having a good time. They had a whole like olive oil thing going on. They had olive oil, like your everyday dipping olive oil, your Premier Cru, your Grand Cru. They had the whole lineup, and then they had a bunch of breads and cheeses and charcuterie and just like phenomenal cuts of meat. Some of the best chicken I've ever had. It was just like, might as well just cut that head off the chicken now and pluck it because it was as fresh as it possibly comes. It's a crazy, maybe undiscovered food city. I don't know. I haven't heard anyone talk about it, but Ljubljana in Slovenia, I'm your ambassador right now. Send me a care package, but you guys need to go there. It's inexpensive. It's delicious. The wine's great. The food's great. If you're an olive oil fan and bread fan like me, some of the top notch.
We're bread sluts on this.
Notch.
We're bread sluts on this podcast,
yes.
so I love it. 2 more questions, and then we'll kind of let you go. The first question is: are you hiring for like somebody in marketing or something like that that goes around and travels? Will document all of the journey. You know, we'll become like one of those really cool pages on the world. We'll make you TikTok famous.
Yeah.
The next question is. Score. I want that job.
Yes, I need a scribe because I can't.
Scribe.
I need someone to take notes for me while I'm like, oh my God, this is a blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I'll do that while I'm also going blah, 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 blah. Let's talk Denver for a second. You mentioned you've been here for a while. You call Wash Park home, so we're not going to ask you your favorite sushi restaurant because we know the answer. But let's say you're trying to find a restaurant that also has a nice natty selection. What's your without saying places that you own, what is a restaurant or a bar that you like to give a shout out to or frequent, in the neighborhood that people would also enjoy? If you like your wine taste, they would also like the food and everything.
One of the best experiences we had in our neighborhood was Olivia. Oh my gosh. Like not only the wine, but the service and the quality was just top notch. I mean, they took so good care of you. Everything is so fresh. I mean, one of my things that I don't have many pet peeves, but when I'm getting down to the last ounce of my wine, I want someone to get ready to say, hey, you should try this wine. You should get ready for this wine. Prep me for the next thing to happen, right?
Wait, so that's a pet peeve? Like if you're like, they're like, I'm ready for someone to fuck me up with some truth.
Oh my gosh, that's what I'm all about. So
look at the color on that.
So this is a black wine from Georgia. This is the Saparavi. This one will knock you off your ass.
Really?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Amazing.
This is why we hire drivers, y'all. So if you want to use promo code STONED, not only on Unrooted wines, but maybe at or Uber. I don't know. We have to work with Uber. We'll shout out Uber. I'll shoot their marketing team a message.
Shout out to Olivia. You guys rock.
That's a great call. We recently enjoyed dining with them, or not at their restaurant, but at Harvest Week, when Ty Zock's team was actually pouring that Cab Franc that they just recently released. So that was a big fun time with the fresh pasta and the, a little colder weather. So it was a heartier dish and obviously a heartier wine. It was a good time. So I fucking love that. And you'll see them in our March Madness bracket this year.
Ooh-wee. Yeah. Oh, we're starting a bracket.
No, we did it last year, and Annette, another one that has a great selection of wines and food, won it over Hop Alley, another one with Roadhouse over there doing great work in the wine scene, and then Jeff in the kitchen. So it's a very, it's a fun little battle, and it was kind of talked about this week, but we love, Olivier is definitely up there, so I would be very surprised if it doesn't make a deep run. So great call. Okay, so last question of the night. It's called The Last Supper. You get 3 people that are dead or alive to join you for your last evening on Earth, but they cannot be friends or family. Who are you picking, and what are we doing? Where are we? I had a sneaking suspicion you'll call your last day on Earth like some, I don't know, place in Georgia or something.
So let's see. We got to have Mr. Vinny Van Gogh. He's got to join me.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like him and I would have a lot to talk about. I don't know what happened to his brain, but I went in on it, and see if I can paint some cool pictures like him.
Some sort of like ayahuasca, licking toads. It's been in the news recently. We talked about it on the pod this week.
Yeah.
Licking toads.
Licking toads. Let's see, the second person. Who would I get there now? This person's alive. He's going to be very shocked that I'm saying this, but one of my favorite wine people in the world.
Well, you can't say that if you're friends with them.
We're not friends anymore.
Okay, fuck him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not friends anymore. Brian Harrington, urban winemaker in San Francisco, just left the business, unfortunately, and moved to Italy or Spain to paint pictures and probably do drugs and do crazy stuff.
That sounds fucking awesome.
He, everything that I'm doing here, he's doing in the winery, and he's a trip and a half. So that guy showed me a lot about the biz. He showed me a lot about how to enjoy the stuff. And if I see him again, I don't know if he's dead or alive right now, but Brian Harrington, let's grab a drink. Let's grab some wine.
I fucking love it. He sounds like a modern. I love that guy already. I don't even know him, but I'm going to research him and see if I can hang out with him.
He's awesome.
Give me your third and final guest, and what are we doing on your last night on Earth?
So I'm picturing a blanket on maybe it's a park. Maybe we're just kind of sitting in the grass. We're probably drinking some wine. We're probably bullshitting about this and that. That third person, that would have to be. I'm looking at this poster right here. I don't know who this guy is in a barrel that's naked, but he looks like the kind of guy that would balance out these two guys. Because sometimes you need a random ass dude that's naked to make it a party. That's me buying time to think about who.
No, we can cut out time all the time. But at the same time, I mean, you had a good 2-pack. So if, the third was someone a little milder, it's always easier. You could go with a politician or a philosophizer, all sorts of things. So it's totally your call. Sweat not.
What
would it be sipping on? Is there a wine out there that's highly elusive that you wish you could get your hands on?
There's a handful of wines that doesn't matter how wealthy you are, they're so highly allocated that you can't really drink. Obviously, we have DRC for all the wine listeners here. You know what DRC is, Domaine Le Romani Conti. It's a Pinot Noir that's overpriced, but delicious. Tried it once. That's the elusive one. But also, I like the everyday wines that sell out fast. I mean, I tried actually a Cabernet that was made in Fort Ross, Northern California, where they grow lots of Pinot. And I was so excited about this wine. I have it at the wine bar. People are drinking it, loving it, and I tried to reorder it. And they're like, oh, no, this guy made that as an experiment. It'll never happen again. So I was literally drinking a moment in time. I had no idea. And I was like, all the wine is gone. It'll never be made again. That's the elusive wine. It's those projects that people come up with and they don't do again. And I'm like, no, why didn't I save a bottle?
I mean, it sounds just like the cannabis industry, especially because as we see more multi-state operators and large operations, you lose that quality that used to come from more of the passionate growers. And you can still find that, but it's more in the black market, or someone's nice enough to share with you with, what they found, or what they created. It's like, look at what I made. Please smoke it. Let me know what you think, or taste it, enjoy, look at it, just stare at it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the same way. I can understand it completely. You're like, fuck, I just want this strain from this person one more time.
Yeah.
And you'll
never,
never
happen.
Yeah. Be like, hey, they don't take personal orders, bro. They're not going to grow for 3 months for you.
And speaking of elusive, I think I would go with Barry Sanders.
Hey!
One of my favorite athletes, good quality guy. No one could tackle this guy. Best running back in football. And plus my daughter was born on the same day, so she's like a mini Barry Sanders. That guy's joining us on this picnic as this world is being taken over by slow-moving lava, which is the end of us all.
I mean, it's the molasses that gets everybody.
Yeah, you get comfortable with the molasses speed, and then it'll get you when you least expect it.
I fucking love it. Dude, I had a blast goofing off with you today, Joel. Thank you for taking the time to not only tell us more about the Unrooted wines, but also about, your journey. So I enjoyed just shooting the shit, and let's, sip some more. We got comfy chairs outside. But before we leave, let everybody know, quick reminder, how to find you on social media if they want to sign up for your wine club. Use promo code STONED for 40% off.
That's right. We got
But tell them all the things.
Yeah, so we got unrootedwines.com. You can sign up there. There's going to be a promo code slot where you can put in STONED, and you'll get your 40% off. We're at unrooted_wines. If you want to follow us, we do some cool stuff there. But yeah, go browse the website. Try some fun wines. I'm Joel at unrootedwines.com. I don't care. Send me an email. Send me what you think of the first month, the second month. I respond to everybody. So we're a community of really fun natural wines, and I want to grow that community. And I love everyone that's a part of this club. They let me know who they are, so I'm excited to grow this family.
Hell yeah. I'm excited to be a part of this family. And, maybe we create a Discord channel for us all. So that, like, somebody, like kind of like the Vivino app where somebody can be like, I loved this with my, beef bourgeois. And then some person can be like, I fucking drank this and, felt corked. And then you get this and you get that and you can figure out, how everybody's vibing.
I love that idea so much. Let's start a
Discords
Discord.
are crazy, but at the same time, it's a very learning experience. Like, I Reddit 90% of the questions I have on this world. I find the answer to car problems, internet issues, why won't my headphones Bluetooth link to my, whatever it may be. Reddit and Discord channels are the future with YouTube and Stoned Appetit. So I appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and let's go catch a good fade.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
I'm in.
Until next week, everybody, stay high, stay hungry. Cheers.
Cheers.
Fucking drank this and felt corked, and then you get this and you get that and you can figure out how everybody's vibing.
I love that idea so much. Let's start a
Discords
Discord.
are crazy, but at the same time, it's a very learning experience. Like, I Reddit 90% of the questions I have on this world. I find the answer to car problems, internet issues, why won't my headphones Bluetooth link to my, whatever it may be. Reddit and Discord channels are the future with YouTube and Stoned Appetit. So I appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and let's go catch a good fade.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
I'm in.
Until next week, everybody, stay high, stay hungry. Cheers.
Cheers.